right, we are going to talk about multiplying and dividing decimals today. We are not going to spend a lot of time on how to multiply decimals and how to divide decimals because you're going to get to use your calculator. But I'm going to show you how, and then we're going to focus on word problems and how to decide if you're going to multiply or divide. So if we were to multiply this number, so on your sheet of paper, write these examples down. 1.51 or 1 and 51 hundredths times 3 and 2 tenths. So if you learn lattice, then do it that way, but I'm not going to use that. But if you used it, if you learned how to multiply doing that, then use that. That is fine. So 1.51 times 3.2. Notice we do not line up the decimals. You only do that on adding and subtracting. You do not do that on multiplying and dividing. You don't add up, you don't line up the decimals. So then we're going to multiply just like we normally do. Okay, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Remember, we bring up the 1, so there was our 10, 1, 0. 2 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Do not put a decimal in. Then when we come to the second row, remember we start with a 0. Then we do 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. We bring our 1 up. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. You guys have hopefully learned how to do that. And then we add it up. You guys did this in elementary. If you did lattice, do it that way. So then we bring down the 2, the 3, we add 3 and 5, which is 8. And then we bring the 4 down. So 4, 8, 3, 2. Now we have to figure out where our decimal goes. So we come back up in here to the problem. We circle all the digits that are to the right of the decimal. So here's our decimal. There's 2, and then there's another one. So there's 3 total. So that means down here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. So our answer is 4.832. Whoops, 2. 4.832 would be our answer. That is how you multiply decimals, okay? Dividing decimals. So if it was 4.8 divided by 0.12. The hardest part is to remember, in elementary, we made the house. Well, this is 4.8 divided by 0.12. So it looks like this is on the outside of the house and the 4.8 is on the inside. Now, what's really important to know is when you put this in your calculator, you just go left to right. 4.8 divided by 0.12. You had to put the 4.8 in first. But how you would do this, I do want to give you an example. You start on the outside. And you want to make sure this becomes a whole number. So our decimal has to end up over here. We move our decimal 2 places, and that becomes 12 divided by, well, if you move this over 2 places, you got to move this one over 2 places. So we're going to have to add a 0. So 12 divided by, 480 divided by 12. Here's our decimal. We bring it straight up. Okay? So now we divide like normal. Whoops. I did not mean to have that in there. Whoops. That eraser doesn't work the same as in my other program. Let me get this and we'll erase it real quick and then I'll go back to my pen. Okay. So how many times does 12 go into 48? Well, that happens to go in there evenly, so we're pretty lucky. That's 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. Remember, we're going to subtract. So 48 minus 48 is 0. We're going to bring this 0 down. Now we see how many times does 12 go into 0? Well, it goes into it 0 times. Okay, we're going to be done. Because we ended with a 0 and we got all the way to the decimal. So the answer is 40. So 4.8 divided by 0.12 is 40. Okay, now we are going to focus I wanted to show you how to do that, but we are going to focus our lesson on these word problems. Okay, so you do not have to write all these out, but just kind of write the gist of it, and I'll kind of show you what that means. Susie Q is at QT and wants to buy 5 pieces of pizza. Okay, so let me move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. So she wants to buy, so I want you to write buy 5 pieces of pizza. And then I want you to write each piece costs $2.34. So write that down. You can pause it. What is her total? So you need to write that. What is her total? Okay, we're not going to worry about tax right now. But what is her total? So we have to decide if we're going to multiply or divide. Okay, well, we are going to, if we are given a part and we need the total, anytime we need the total of something, we're going to multiply. So she wants 5 pieces of pizza. So this piece of pizza was $2.34. This piece of pizza is $2.34. This piece of pizza is $2.34. You can see why I'm not an art teacher. $2.34. $2.34. So each piece is $2.34. So what's our total? Well, we could add those up, or we could do what? We could multiply 5 times 2.34. And we're going to use our calculator. I'm going to get mine out even and use it. So 5 times 2.34. Make sure you're getting $11. Now your calculator may say 11.7. We're dealing with money, so we want to put 11.70, $11.70. Okay, we're going to multiply. Remember, a dot means multiply. Okay, a dot or a star. Okay, so now number 2. Susie Q just bought some candy for $13.86. The candy cost $4.95 a pound. How many pounds did the candy weigh? So this is our total. We're given our total. So if we're given the total, we're going to end up dividing. So Susie Q just bought, so you can put bought for $13.86. The candy costs $4.95 a pound. How many pounds did she buy? Okay, so here's our candy. I'm just going to put, we have little, I don't know, M&Ms, we'll say. Red, lots of red M&Ms. Okay, this was $4.95 for 1 pound. Whoops, woo, my thing went crazy there. Oh my goodness, stop it. It's out of control. I'm going to erase that whole thing right there. It went crazy. You guys saw it. You witnessed it. So this is $4.95 for 1 pound. Okay, well, she spent a total of $13.86. So if we want to know how many pounds, it would be $4.95 times how many pounds equals $14.86. So to find the answer, we're going to divide. Now dividing, it matters the order. So we have to decide, what are we dividing up? Are we dividing up the $4.95 or are we dividing up the $13.86? We got to divide up. So we have $13.86. We're going to divide that by $4.95. It's not always the bigger number, like you may have learned in elementary. So remember, you put in the $13.86 first, and you should put 2.8 pounds. Make sure you label so you know what it is. If you don't remember, go back up to your question. It says, how many pounds did the candy weigh? So that's how you know what it is. Okay? Next one. Mrs. Boyd, so that's me, needs to paint her living room wall. She has to find the area of the wall before she buys it. If the wall is 15.5 feet by 10.8 feet, what is the area of the wall? Okay, even if you don't remember area, so I have a wall that I want to paint. Do you know paint? You buy it by the can, but you have to know how much you're covering. So if this is 15.5 feet by 10.8 feet, and we want to know this whole area. Okay, so remember area, we're going to multiply. So, and remember in multiplying, it doesn't matter the order. You can put the 10.8 first, doesn't matter. So 15.5, I want you to practice, times 10.8 equals 167.4. What? What is the area? So this would be feet. If you can't remember, it's feet squared with a little 2 there, feet squared. I forgot to have you guys underline. So you could say find the area, and you could say if the wall's 15.5 feet by 10.8 feet. You could just put that down, okay? All right, last one. Okay, let me get rid of that little thing so I can make this bigger. Oh, it won't let me go up. There we go. All right, so Mrs. Boyd needs 12.4 inches of string to make a craft with her class. She has 347.2 total inches of string. Oh, it says sting. That should be an R. String. S-T-R-I-G. How many pieces of string can she cut? So she needs 12.4 inches. She has 347.2. So that's my total. So I have this string. Woo! Okay. The total length is 347.2 inches. And I need 12.4 inches. I need all these different 12.4 inches. So I need to split this string up. Okay, so you're going to divide because you're splitting up. We're going to take this total. You always put the total first. 347.2 divided by 12.4 to see how many, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, how many strings can I end up with? So 347.2 divided by 12.4 is 28. 28 what? 28 pieces or pieces of string. And if you can't remember what it is, go back. It says right here, go back and see what your question says. How many pieces of string can she cut? Okay, so remember, if you're given the total, then you're going to divide. If you're given the total money or the total length or the total area, you're going to divide and put the total first. If you're trying to find the total of something, then you're going to multiply. There are a few instances where that does not exactly correct, but almost all of them it is. Okay? All right.